Most of us walk around thinking we are making our own choices. But the truth is, a lot of what we believe about love, trust, conflict, success, even our own self worth was shaped long before we ever had a say. We didn't choose the home we were born into. We didn't choose our neighborhoods. We didn't choose the culture. We didn't even choose the rules. But those things shaped us anyway. Today, I'm breaking down 5 powerful ways your environment, the place you grew up, shaped your beliefs, your relationship, and the way you see the world. And once you understand this, you will finally understand yourself better. Number one, the rules you grew up with became your normal. Let me explain. You see, guys, every home has rules, not the ones written on the fridge. I'm talking about the invincible ones. Some families says, don't talk about your feelings. Some say everything you feel. Some say, respect your elders no matter what. Some say, respect is earned. And here's the thing. You grow up thinking those rules are universal. If you grew up in a home where people avoided conflict, you might think conflict is dangerous. If you grew up in a home where people yelled, you might think yelling is just communication. If you grew up in a home where nobody apologized, you might struggle to say, I'm sorry now. Let me give you a real example. Imagine two people in a relationship. One grew up in a house where silence meant peace. The other grew up in a house where silence meant punishment. Now imagine the both of them arguing. One goes quiet to calm down, the other panics because quiet feels like abandonment. Same moment, two completely different realities. That is the power of your upbringing. Number two, the way people treated you became the way you treated yourself. Your inner voice didn't come from nowhere, it was trained. If you grew up being criticized, you probably criticized yourself heavily. If you grew up being compared, you probably compare yourself. If you grew up being ignored, you might feel invincible even when people love you. Let me paint a picture for you guys. A child grows up hearing, stop crying, you're too sensitive. As an adult, they apologize for having emotion. Another child grows up hearing, you are the smart one. As an adult, they are terrified of making mistakes because mistakes threatens their identity. Another child grows up hearing nothing at all, no praise, no affection, no acknowledgement. As an adult, they struggle to believe the matter. Your self-thought is not random. Is inherited. Number three, what you saw growing up became your blueprint. We don't learn love from movies. We learn it from observation. If you saw affection, you learn love is warm. If you saw distance, you learn love is quiet. If you saw chaos, you learn love is unstable. If you saw sacrifice, you learn love means giving everything. Even if you hated what you saw, you might still repeat it. Not because you want to, but because it feels familiar. Let me give you a scenario. A woman grows up watching her mother do everything from cooking, cleaning, emotional labor, while her father relaxes. Now, she grows up believing love means overworking. A man grows up watching his father shut down emotionally. He grows up believing vulnerability is unsafe. A child grows up watching their parent fight loudly, then act like nothing happened. They grow up believing conflict has no resolution. It just resets. Your childhood home was your first relationship classroom. You learned the rules without even knowing you were learning. Number four, the community around you shaped what you think is possible. Your environment didn't just shape your personality. No, it shaped your dreams. If you grew up in a place where nobody traveled, you might think travel is unrealistic. If you grew up in a place where everyone struggled financially, you might think success is rare. If you grew up in a place where people settle, you might feel guilty for wanting more. Here is an example. A kid grows up in a neighborhood where everyone works 2 jobs just to survive. Now, as an adult, they feel guilty resting because rest feels like laziness. Another kid grows up in a community where nobody starts business. As an adult, entrepreneurship feels impossible, not because they can't do it, but because they have never seen it done. Your environment didn't just shape who you are, it shaped who you believe you were allowed to become. And number five, the culture you grew up in shaped your definition of right and wrong. Culture is powerful. It tells you what is acceptable, what is shameful, what is admirable, what is embarrassing. Some culture says family comes first. Others says independence is everything. Some culture says stay quiet. Others says speak boldly. And when two people from different backgrounds meet, boom, misunderstanding. Not because either person is wrong, but because they are playing by different rule books. Let me give you an example. One person grew up in a culture where expressing emotions is normal. Another grew up in a culture where emotions are private. Now imagine them dating. One says, talk to me. The other says, why are you pressuring me? Same moment, different walls. Let me say this, guys. So here's the truth. You are not just you. You are a collection of your environment, rules, voices, and the belief that were handed to you before you even knew how to speak. But here's the beautiful part. Once you understand where your beliefs came from, you get to choose which ones you keep. You get to rewrite the rules. You get to challenge the patterns. You get to build relationships based on who you are now, not who you were trained to be. Your past shaped you, but it does not have to define you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something valuable out of this video. If you did, please let me know in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next video.